The way to get started is quit talking and start doing. That's Walt Disney, one of the most successful business entrepreneurs in American history. Now, what I'm talking about and why I brought in that quote, I'm talking to business owners, people that have small businesses with business bank statements. You have probably the hardest chance and the most difficult road in getting a loan modification. Just as when you applied for your mortgage, it took extra steps for you to get that approval. The same thing happens with loan modifications. A lot of times, small business owners, even though they have the right income and they are able to make the payments, they get denied for loan modification because they don't understand how to apply. Specifically, how to get their income in front of the bank in a way that the bank understands and gives you a loan modification. My name is Diego Mendez. I'm a bankruptcy, loan modification, and foreclosure lawyer here in Miami, Florida. I've been helping people since 2008 during the last crash apply for loan modifications either directly or through different programs that the government has offered in the past and is currently offering through bankruptcy and in different forms to get a loan modification. Please subscribe to my channel and like my videos because I'm going to keep making these videos for everybody who has problems due to the coronavirus financial meltdown. People with small business have the hardest road when they're dealing with loan modifications. The banks have very special requirements, just as you know when you bought your home, they required very special documentation, profit and loss and different statements for you to apply for your mortgage. The same thing is going to happen when you apply for loan modification. Now, the good news is that you, unlike gig workers that use their personal bank statements for all of their income, you have bank statements from your business that are designed specifically for the purposes of creating profit and loss and other financial statements. Business bank statements start on the first of the month. Therefore, business bank statements are calendar month statements. So whatever, if they were asking for April, then you just pull out the April bank statement and there you go. You've got all the information you need. If you want year to date, you've got 12 very beautiful bank statements that are all set up specifically for you. They're also designed at the top to show the deposits and the withdrawals, so you know just by looking at it how much was deposited every month. That is your gross monthly income for the business, and how much was withdrawn. Those are your expenses. And also, you usually have copies of your checks and everything attached to the business bank statement, so it's very, very, very user friendly. So what we're talking about here is your profit and loss. You've probably seen this before, but maybe you haven't. Now, a profit and loss basically is a statement that shows the income that's left over for the owner of the company. Now, your gross, it's very simple when you have a business, because when you have a business, you take your business bank statement, you look at your gross monthly income of the bank statement at the top, which is the deposits. That's your gross monthly income. And then your expenses you have to delineate. Now, what you need to focus on in this particular situation with loan modifications is that you need to separate out all of the money that you took for yourself. These are payroll checks to yourself, cash withdrawals that you can't tie to anything, and owner draws, so any checks to yourself. That's your net income right there. Everything else should be an expense to the business. So whatever that amount of money that you took for yourself, that should be your net income, and that should be the amount of money that you put as your income for the loan modification. Now, there might be some other things in there you might want to add, but you're going to start confusing it. And if there's enough money there, that's what you live off of, that should be sufficient to pay the things that you need to pay. You're going to use that amount of money as your net income, which is the income at the top of your loan modification application. When you apply, this is what you're going to use. Now, I talked in the last episode, and you should check that out, that talks about the year-to-date, quarterly, and monthly and current time periods for a profit and loss. But you've probably done that before. But if you want to check that out, you can look at my last episode, and I get really in detail about those things so that you can understand when the bank is asking you for year-to-date, how to do year-to-date, how to do quarterly, how to do monthly, and how to do a current profit and loss. Again, when you're building your profit and loss, you need to look at the deposits, You need to pull out all the money that you made, which is your income essentially, and then everything else is an expense. You need to list those expenses out as best you can so that it balances out. This is not an accounting test. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to match what you're doing. Again, you need to be honest on these applications. You need to be consistent, and you need to list things in a way that the bank understands. This is not for you to come up with some creative way or some fantasy way of doing things. Now, I understand you're probably making less money than you were making before, which is why you're in a loan modification situation. However, you need to be honest and consistent. The bank will, if they deny you, this is really important. If they deny you because your small business cannot pay you enough money to pay a mortgage, then they're going to tell you why that is. They're going to say to you, you don't make enough money. At that point, you can reapply with the idea that, okay, I'm going to lower my business expenses so that I, the owner, can make more money for the 3 months or whatever many months that they want, and then maybe reapply with a better profit and loss that shows you having more profit. Now, this is a process. Most people get denied the first time. Most small business owners will get denied the first time they apply. That's almost a certainty. But that's not a bad thing. Being denied is not a bad thing if you take the information that you gather from the denial, so when you reapply, you can then reapply knowing that you've changed your lifestyle, or that you found a second job, or that maybe your spouse is now working, and you can use that income to bolster the income so that they can offer you a loan modification. This is very important. My name is Diego Mendez. I've helped thousands of people, and a lot of people who have small businesses apply for loan modifications and successfully get loan modifications. It is not an easy thing to do. This is a process that takes trial and error. It might take more than one time, but you need to be consistent, you need to be persistent, and you need to keep applying. Don't give up. If you give up, then you've lost. If you keep applying, then you might actually get something. Please watch my show, Debt Law Survival Guide for the Desperate Debtor, and keep watching my programs, like my videos, and subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to keep making videos on this subject throughout the coronavirus meltdown so that people can keep their homes, survive the forbearance period, and move forward into a brighter future. Thank you very much.